Welcome to Once Upon a Castle, unlocking the magic of Disney, past and present. I'm Gini, your guide through the parks and the pages of Disney's rich history. Each week, we will share expert tips to help you plan your perfect visit and explore the stories, secrets, and legends that make the magic real. From Walt's vision to today's hidden gems, we will help you feel more connected, more prepared, and more enchanted every step of the way. So, whether you're counting down the days to your next trip or just dreaming of a stroll down Main Street, USA, this is your place to discover the wonder. This is Once Upon a Castle. Hey friends, welcome to our very first episode of Once Upon a Castle. I can't tell you just how excited I am to finally be launching this. If you love Disneyland, if you're looking for trip tips, if you geek out over the history that makes the parks come alive, then you are in the right place. So here's the idea behind this show. We're going to explore Disneyland one land at a time. Think of each land like its own little season. We'll start in one land and take a deep dive. We'll look at the attractions, entertainment, food, and even personal stories from Disney fans who love that land the most. Kind of like peeling back the layers of the park to really understand what makes each land so magical. For example, one week we might talk about the rides and how they're designed, little bits of history. Then the next episode will be all about entertainment in that land, like the parades, the shows, what character encounters can you have. Then we'll move on to food because let's be honest, churros and Dole Whip are just as important as Big Thunder Mountain. And to wrap up each season, I'll have a guest come on to share their own personal Disney story, why that specific land is their favorite, and of course, their tips and tricks for making the most of your visit. And in between seasons, we'll still be hanging out. I'll do episodes on trip planning, things like Disneyland with toddlers, or how do you do an adults only trip, or like what to expect during the holidays. Basically, I want this podcast to be part guide, part history, and part just celebrating the Disney magic. But before we get too deep into all of that, I figured I'd share a little bit about my own Disney story. Growing up, I grew up in kind of that Disney Renaissance period. So the Disney movies were a huge part of my life. I grew up, my mom was mostly raising me. She was a single mom and she worked a lot. So I found a lot of comfort and companionship with Disney movies. I can remember watching so much Winnie the Pooh. I loved it so much. And still to this day, he just holds a special place in my heart. So I spent a lot of time watching the movies. I remember growing up and we didn't live in a town that had a Disney store, but within 4 hours. So whenever we'd go to the big city of Denver, Colorado, we'd hit up the Disney store and oh my gosh, that was just the most magical thing to me. I was so impressed with the decorations and all the animals, like the stuffed animals and the toys, and they had the movies, and it just felt so special. And I think one thing, or I like to say, one reason I love Disney so much is I was actually born in Anaheim. My parents tell me that we lived in an apartment right across from Disneyland. I don't think it's there anymore. Actually, no, it's not, because one year my dad and I, while we were back visiting, going to Disneyland, we kind of drove around and he was like, let me see if I can find the apartment. It's not there anymore. So I like to just think I was born at Disneyland. Like, that's where I was born, and that's why Disneyland and Disney is just in my blood. Disney was really special to me as a kid, and I even remember growing up and being in middle school and going through like a phase where I would watch Cinderella every night. That was my comfort movie. That's still my comfort movie. She is by far my favorite princess. That was a movie that helped me go to sleep at night and just find comfort in life. Disney has always been a big part of my life. Then my parents tell me we took a first trip when I was about a year old, maybe a little bit younger than that, to Disneyland. So allegedly that was our first trip. I have no recollection of that. I don't even know if we have any pictures. If we do, I don't remember seeing them. I say my first trip to Disney was actually a Disney World trip, and this was 2015. I was an adult and my parents were living in Florida at the time. They were living in Tampa, so Orlando was pretty close. My son at the time, he was in first grade, so we did Disney World. And I always thought like, okay, it'd be kind of cool to go to Disney, but I was also like, I had my reservations. I'm like, it's hot. You got to wait in lines. Like, what's there really to do? Like, I mean, I love Disney, but I don't know. But I'll go. It sounds like, why not? And I just remember I was immediately enamored right away in the parking lot. Like, we pulled in, got our parking spot, just the tram system. We're riding in on the tram to go to the boat, the ferry. And I just remember thinking like, whoa, this is like such a well-oiled machine, and Disney really knows what they're doing. Like, I'm a big fan of systems and structures and protocols and procedures. And so I was just like oogling over how just the simple act of getting people from their car out of the parking lot. Like, that was just so impressive. So already I was like, okay, this is pretty neat. I've never experienced, a theme park or like a concert or any kind of big area that is this well-oiled machine. And then I remember getting on the ferry and ferrying across, and just that moment that I saw the castle across the lake just melted. I mean, it was so magical, and I just had this moment of being a little kid again, like, "Oh, there she is. There's the castle. Oh my gosh." And we ended up having the best day. We rope dropped and we stayed till the very end. I drug my family all over that park. My son was asleep, we're carrying him out. He's sleeping, and I'm just walking backwards, looking at the castle, like crying because it was all so magical. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave. I love this. So that was my very first recollection and experience of going to Disney, was at Disney World. We then did the next year another trip to Disney World and just loved it so much. So then on my 30th birthday, I decided, I'm going to Disneyland. So my son and I, we packed up, we road tripped from Colorado, and we did Disneyland, and it was even more magical and more special. Just the fun of navigating, meeting characters, trying the food. I mean, we were hooked. So we have been countless times. We live in Colorado. It's about an 11 and a half hour drive. It's long, but it's manageable. We've spent all different types of seasons there. We've been there over many times of the summer, over spring break, over Thanksgiving, during the Halloween season. So I think just about maybe every month, maybe not January, that we have been there and experienced it. So we got hooked, both of us. And I have like a proud mom moment of when my son turned 12. I told him, like, I'll take you on any trip you want to celebrate, wherever you want to go. And he wanted to go to Disneyland. And I was like, okay, yes, I'm raising him right. One thing that I have really enjoyed over the years is taking many different types of trips. So I've been on trips with my son, just my son and I. I was a single mom for a very long time, and so that was like our special thing that we could go and do. So we took many trips. We've been on trips with my parents. They've come along and we've had lots of fun with them. I've been on numerous trips with my girlfriends, whether it was like a group of us. We went one time, there was like 5 of us, did a trip for my birthday. And then I took my now husband there one time to celebrate when he graduated with his master's. And we actually took a trip and got engaged at Disneyland, which was all of my dreams come true. So that was obviously a very special trip. And I actually ended up having my bachelorette party there. So I've done lots of different types of trips, and each time is so special. And every time we visit, it's a completely different experience. And that's just one thing that I love so much about going to Disneyland is you never have the same trip twice. It's always something new. I like to ask people, what's your favorite land? I don't know if I have one, just like all of them for different reasons. Like, what mood am I in? And that's the land is my favorite in the moment. But I will say I really, really love Main Street USA. The nostalgia, it just transports you back to a different time. It's light and easy. It's beautiful. It has so much character and charm, and there's so many like hidden treasures that you can find throughout it. That's just rich in history. So Main Street is really special to me. I love it. And I love Fantasyland. I love the castle. Every time I see her, I walk into Disneyland, I'm just like, hello, gorgeous. You're so pretty. And I always have to end my night by the castle. That's how I end every trip. I just have to sit, bask in her presence and her beauty, and the lights at night are so gorgeous, and to just sit in front of the castle and she's glowing her pinks and purples, and then to look the other way down Main Street and it's all lit up. That's how I like to end my night, and it's always one last look goodbye, and I often incorporate a prayer of just gratitude for having the privilege and the opportunity to be able to experience these trips and a place that I love so much. So I love Fantasyland because who doesn't love the pretty princesses and just like you're living in a fairy tale? It's great. I love it. But I will say my absolute favorite ride is the Haunted Mansion. No trip would be complete without multiple rides on the Haunted Mansion. I think it is quirky, it's fun, it's like spooky, silly. There's so many stories embedded in the Haunted Mansion and how it was developed and created and the storylines throughout it. It's so interactive in that kind of way. And to get it where it is today was such a feat. It was not just a ride where they thought, yeah, think this up and get it done, I mean, it took years and years for the Haunted Mansion to come to fruition, and I think it's just perfection. And it is so fun. And getting in my little doom buggy, just bopping around, you can't go wrong with the Haunted Mansion. So for me, Disney has always been a good way to connect with what truly matters, and that's finding joy in the small things and being true to yourself and being at Disney around people who are excited and happy to be there, and they feel free, and you can check the rest of the world at the door. And for those few hours that you're there, nothing else matters but just being present and being in the moment. And that's just something I love so much about Disney, and that's what makes it feel like home to me. And that's why I keep going back. And as time has gone on, I've really learned a lot about the history embedded throughout the parks. And that is just one thing that comes alive for me. So, bringing this podcast to everyone is my way of just sharing the joy and hoping that people learn a little bit of that history along the way that just makes their trips come to life, and kind of walking through different places being like, ooh, I know about that tree and it's significant because I find a lot of joy in that. So just being able to share that. So that's my Disney story, and really why I wanted to start Once Upon a Castle. I know how much joy and magic Disneyland brought into my life, and my hope is to share that with you, whether it's through practical trip tips, stories from the past, or just nerding out over the details that make Disney so special. Just like every castle has many stories hidden within its walls, Disney holds a story for each of us. That's what makes it so magical. It's not just about rides or shows. It's about the personal connections we all have. And here on Once Upon a Castle, you're going to hear those stories, one guest at a time. So I'm really excited to turn the page from my story to the story of our first guest. I'm so excited to welcome our first guest so that they can share their own Disney magic. We're going to meet my dear, dear friend, one of my best friends, Kristen. We've been friends for a long time, and we have done many Disney trips together. So we're going to sit down and have a chat with her about what makes Disney so special to her, what her Disney story is, and she's going to share some really amazing tips for us. The cool thing about our conversation with Kristen is we just got back from a girls' trip, a moms only trip to Disneyland over the weekend. And so we actually had the opportunity to record together at Disneyland. It was so fun. And it was so exciting. And when I proposed that idea to her, hey, do you want to record for the podcast at Disneyland? Oh my gosh. She was like, heck yes, I do. So we found a perfect spot right at the flower shop area off of Main Street. And one thing that I really loved about our conversation, not just being able to talk with one of my very best friends about my very favorite thing, Disney, is that you guys get to come along and experience what we were experiencing, the ambiance. One thing that I really love about Disney is the ambiance that it provides. So we'll be sitting there and we're going to see people walking by, people chatting. There's actually a few times where I had to edit and cut away because people were complimenting our Loungefly bags and talking with them. Or there was a little group of people bounding as princesses that caught our attention in the middle of our conversation. We're like, ooh, look at them. They're so pretty. They look so awesome. There was another couple who was all decked out in Haunted Mansion gear. So, of course, we had to ooh and ah over that. So I had to cut some of that out. But you'll hear things like rope dropping. We were there right before, I think we got to the gates about 7:30 and got ourselves settled and started having our conversation. So kind of towards the end of the conversation, you'll hear the music wind up, which is my favorite part of the day. So that's really exciting. And because of where we were situated, in the flower shop area, back in the far corner, there's the dentist shop window. And it's really interactive. So you can hear some audio from that. So that window kind of talks to you as if someone's getting their teeth worked on because it's a dentist shop. So fun and silly and very loud, but you'll hear some of that. I'm just excited to share this conversation. Kristen and I had the best time. She's such a great friend, and to be able to share a love of Disney, one of my favorite things, with one of my favorite people is just so special. I'd like everybody to please welcome Kristen. Hi friends, and welcome from Disneyland. We are seated outside of the dentist shop in the little flower shop area. So this is a fun, cute, quaint little area that's packed full of lots of silly little nods to Imagineers and Disney himself. So one actually fun fact is this area now has fake flowers, but in Disney's opening days, they actually sold real flowers here because Lillian Disney, Walt's wife, was a big fan of that and she promoted that. So anyways, I'm here and I'm with one of my dearest friends, Kristen. Welcome, Kristen, to Once Upon a Castle.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for letting me be part of this.
Yeah, it's exciting. So, Kristen, will you share with us what's your Disney story?
So I was born in Anaheim, as you know, good old 1986. And so Disney was a huge part of my life growing up as a young kid. I really lived maybe 10 minutes away if you're taking the 5 freeway.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. So we were here quite often when I was young. All the Disney things. When I was young, I didn't call it Disneyland. I called it Mickey's house.
Mickey's house. I love that. Okay.
Yes, because like so many, I was a very Disney kid, all the Disney movies, and I knew that this is where Mickey Mouse lived.
You were just like, going to Mickey's house today.
I'm going to Mickey's
No
house.
big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of childhood memories here, a lot of nostalgia when I come back to visit. One of my most cherished memories is as a kid, I had one of those swing sets in the backyard.
Okay.
A little ladder up to a slide, and so nightly in my memory, maybe not as often in reality, but in my memory, I would go to the top of my slide every night and watch the fireworks because I could see them from my backyard.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Yay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you say is your favorite land here at Disneyland?
It's definitely got to be probably New Orleans Square.
Okay.
A lot of that has to do with my older sister Danielle was very into the vibe, New Orleans Square. So I have fond memories of kind of just being there, hanging out, sipping our mint juleps,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. The jazz music is just gorgeous. I love the whole feel of it. And then I have a very strong second. I really like Toontown.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think Toontown. Okay,
Yeah,
so why
yeah.
is Toontown a good second?
I think just because when it opened, it was right, kind of the tail end of the Disney Renaissance. So I remember Roger Rabbit, it's all cartoony. I was probably about 10 years old-ish when they opened. I remember my Lion King shirt, riding Roger Rabbit. And just because it's a really great area where you can just like go free, be a kid, even more so than just Disney itself, because it's literally a cartoon land where you can just play.
Yeah.
And then I think over the years too, as I've had kids, it's one of my favorites because I feel like I can relax, I can sit down, and all of my children can run and do whatever, and I don't feel that pressure of like, oh, they're going to be in somebody's way.
Right.
You know, because that's what it's for.
They're
One
going
big
hog
playground.
wild. Yeah. What's your favorite like area in Toontown or like thing to mess with?
To mess with, I really like going through Mickey's house.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
One of my first memories of Toontown, Mickey's house, is I brought Mason, and I don't know, maybe he was 8 at the time, and we came with my dad, and we were in Toontown, and he wanted to go through Mickey's house, and my dad and I were like, okay, well, we're gonna like wait out here for you, and you go through Mickey's house, and like we waited at the exit, so we're like, we'll snatch him up, right when he comes through, and let him go do his thing, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and I started to like panic. I'm like, oh my god, where is he? Like, couldn't have gotten past us? Like, what's happening? That panic set in. So I left my dad at the exit. I went through the house, like frantically looking, like, where is he? So the area where you're waiting in line to meet Mickey, they have a screening room, right? And they're playing like the cartoons and stuff. I found him. He had his big Sorcerer Mickey hat. He was sitting on the ground behind the stanchion, like everybody else was in line, and he was just sitting there cross-legged, watching the cartoons, completely oblivious to everything around him, and just like literally living his best life.
Yeah.
And I was terrified, but I was like, oh my god. So I have that.
That's
that
so
fond memory. Yeah,
It's like,
it's so good. Yep. Cartoon. Yeah. So that's awesome.
How cute.
What do your kids like to do over there? Do they have some favorites?
You know, we actually haven't got a lot of time over there.
Okay.
I've only been here with my group a couple different times. The first time there was a lot of construction. It was right before this latest renovation.
Yeah.
So funny story, like I talked it up to Mike not knowing that there was going to be renovations. So we get there and it's kind of like...
It's like halfway closed down.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, Kristen, like, cool, bro.
Yeah.
I think at that visit we maybe went on Roger Rabbit and Gadgets Go Coaster. And,
Okay.
And then he was like, this place is kind of gross. Like, no.
Sad.
Yeah. But this last time, I really like, and especially for the younger kids that I've got, a little kind of, I don't remember what it's called. It's where they have like the park area.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Right
know
in front of
either,
Donald's
but
boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
And then the kids haven't been on it yet, but I really do like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
That's a good-
Runaway Railway. I can never say it. Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, that
I'm
one's fun.
excited to show them that in December when they come back.
I'm going to try to snag that lightning lane earlier today. Yeah. Awesome. So, okay, we got New Orleans Square is your favorite land, and then a hard second place is Toontown. What's your favorite ride?
Pirates of
Ooh,
the
that looks
Caribbean. Instant
Okay.
all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And again, it's just those childhood memories. I remember being 4 or 5, going on it terrified. Oh, it was so scary. I didn't want to go on it.
Okay.
So scary.
Why? Why were you scared?
As a 4-year-old, it's dark, it's loud,
Okay.
there's water, there's skeletons.
Yeah.
Terrifying. I remember like doing the full-on meltdown tears. No waterfalls. And then as I again got older, like we moved away from California when I was about 7, and so even though I was here every summer, Disney trips dropped dramatically.
Sure.
And then it was probably, I think I was maybe a sophomore or a junior in high school when they started the Pirates of the Caribbean movie franchise.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt ownership of that simply because I was from Anaheim and
Like, I know that.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is mine. Like, you Montana kids don't know anything. So silly. But yeah, and then so coming back and reliving like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I think the thing that really kind of solidified it was watching the Curse of the Black Pearl in theaters in high school in Montana. And many people hadn't been to Disney, and if they had, it was like a lot less frequently.
Okay, yeah.
So that familiarity wasn't there. So the scene where he says that dog will never come, and I just bust up laughing because I know the reference, and everybody in here was like,
What's going on?
Yeah.
Because it's like referring to when they're at the jail, right? And they're trying to like lure the doggy over. He's got the keys, and he's
year
like,
after year, that dog doesn't move.
no, thank you.
Weird. But yeah, so things like that, and then
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you ever think as a kid that the flame scene was real? Like real fire?
I don't know if I ever did register that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a random thing, but there is, in the ceiling, there's a table and there's a barrel, and they're all kind of...
Like at the very end.
Yes, the very end, and every single time I'm like, it's gonna fall. This is gonna be the time. It's gonna fall.
That's me too. I love that ride, but I get like panicky. I know it's not going to fall, but I'm like, okay, like, is that a real crack? Like,
Yes. Something is gonna fall on this boat.
Yep.
We're done for.
We're done. This is all going to collapse and we're dead. So when they first built it and they had the fire scene, people thought it was real. Like they started to panic. Like, oh my gosh, they didn't realize at first that it was part of the ride, like intentionally part of the ride.
That's amazing.
And it just looked so realistic that people started to panic. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think they used to have more like smoke in there to bring that illusion, but they took that away because people were thinking it was so
much.
real. Yeah. No, that's really cool.
That's really neat.
Yeah, I love that. Pirates is a good, that's one of my top 2. It's a good one.
What's your besides Pirates?
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's so good.
Again, so scary as a kid.
It is. It's so scary. I remember even just like riding it the first time as an adult.
Yeah.
And going through the stretching room, and that was scary. Like, what's gonna? And it had I had Mason with me, and he was little, and I was like, what's gonna happen? Now let's think about food. We love to eat here at Disneyland.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite food items?
Definitely the churro, the original OG churro.
OG, okay.
Oh my gosh, like, yes.
Yeah.
Don't know, no specific memory tied to it, just really good. As a kid, I really liked the hot dogs because they had that specific bun. It was almost like bagel,
Okay.
sorta.
Okay.
But I haven't had one of those in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to go into how many years. But yeah. So yeah, definitely churros are like my thing when I'm here. You had me try the popcorn last night.
Yeah.
First time ever.
First time ever having the popcorn last night.
Right.
Yeah.
So my second kiddo, Salem, loves the popcorn. Never understood why. I'm like, okay. So last night I'm like, I can see it.
Wait, so the kids get it,
Yeah.
but you've never been like, I'll take some of that. Like,
Out of all the things that you can have at Disney, I'm like, popcorn?
yeah.
Like, I can get that anywhere. Where else can you get at Disneyland caliber?
Well, that is true. Yes, you cannot get a Disneyland caliber churro anywhere. So yes, the popcorn, yeah, it's good. And it was perfect last night because we had that drink that was really sweet and
Yeah.
just balanced. And I don't know, you're just standing in line and you're just like,
I love that.
it's good. Popcorn's
You know
good,
what
man.
kind of like I thought of last night? We're going through Small World, and I expect them to be like, "Oh, ladies, time to throw it away."
Yeah.
But no, not on Small World. You
Yeah.
can take your popcorn and
I was waiting for that too. Like, am
I
I
know,
gonna
I'm
need
like,
to
are we allowed?
sneak this
Like, I
on?
don't
Yeah.
know if that was a one-off or favorite time of day.
Rope drop is about to happen in 2 minutes, so the music's blaring.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so when you're thinking of coming, what are some like absolute must-dos every trip? You're like, gotta make this happen, or like eat this, or watch this, or
Yeah. So like we've kind of hit the main points. Definitely Pirates. I don't feel like it would be a complete trip if I didn't go at least once on Pirates. Have one churro. And fireworks show. And I know you're not like, with fireworks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, again, like, there's been times where I've come and I miss the fireworks and I'm like, huh.
yeah,
Like,
that was sad.
yeah. So I do really enjoy it. I think probably my favorite firework experience was with you.
Oh,
Got those
yeah.
like very front row seats. But even then, like, it all goes back to the nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
I can't really place like the age I was. Somewhere between like pre-teenish, but they had the fireworks show Believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's so pretty and it's so cheesy. Like,
That's the great thing about everything here. It's so
love it.
cheesy.
I
I love
love
it.
it.
I love it.
but yeah, like if you go back to like YouTube and there's recordings and just the little boy's voice, Believe, and
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah, gets you
So
every
good.
time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah.
So if you could share with people a couple tips that you feel like whether they're first timers or they've been here many, many times,
Yes.
what are some trips overall to just have the most magical time?
I think keeping the expectations loose. I think, and I'm definitely guilty of this, but kind of like when you get in your head, like, we gotta do this and this and this and this. And things happen, especially with small kids. That's unpredictable. And so I think just keeping it really loose, being like, we're here to have a good time.
Yeah.
And letting the kids be kids as well. Because I think, in many cases they're seeing this for the first time.
That's good.
And I think it's really important to just facilitate those big memories and
Yeah.
just be like letting them take it all in without the stress of having to act right.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Make themselves small and things like that. I'm like, go crazy, have fun.
Yeah, have 12 churros for sure. Oh, that's your
Yes.
fifth hot corn dog today? That's fine.
That's fine. That's fine. I love it. My sister shared a really good tip with me.
Oh,
So
yeah, okay.
she has 2 kiddos, and they're a little older. I think my nephew is about 11 this year, and my niece is just turned 7. So their first time, and my nephew is on the spectrum.
Okay.
And so a lot of the noise and loud, they couldn't do a lot of stuff. But one of those things that she came up with is to make sure that you're not spending a fortune on every little item that your child sees.
Yeah.
Right? So she shared this with me. She was like, we just take pictures of everything.
Oh.
We save it to the end of the day. If you want that, we'll take a picture. We'll take a picture. We'll take a picture. And we end up with 1,000 pictures of items that we want.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, which ones do you really want?
Right.
And kind of go from there. Yeah, I was like, dang,
Wait, I
that's
should do that
smart.
for me.
Right?
That's a good tip
Exactly.
for me.
Take a picture, Jenny.
I know, I'm like, ooh, and that. Ooh, I'll take that.
And that. Yeah. Because I think that as parents coming to Disney, we get no fatigue.
Right.
Which is, no. Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Do it. And so, yeah.
Okay, that's a great tip. I like
I
that.
think it's a smart idea. I'm really excited to try to implement that with my kids.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
think
You'll have like a bajillion pictures.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
Because you have a few kids.
Just
Yeah. I love that. And just the idea of like being flexible and fluid.
yeah.
And those are some of the best experiences I've had when it's just been like, okay, oh yeah, let's go. I think we experienced that a lot yesterday. Like we had no agenda other than to just exist
Yep.
in the parks.
Just
And
take
there
it
were
in.
times, where were we headed? We were headed somewhere and it was like, oh no, that's not gonna work. And like we literally just like, okay, we just started
Yeah.
shifting, walking. Okay, how about we go this way? And like,
Yep.
how about that? Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly if that was like Jolly Holiday. I think that's at the end after Fantasmic, and they were like, oh wait, there's not gonna be seats.
Oh yeah, that's right. It
Bengal
was.
barbecue instead.
Yep,
Which was
yep.
so good.
That was really good.
Do you want to know another thing?
Yes.
That's the first time I've ever eaten a Bengal barbecue too.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so that's the thing with coming with my parents as a kid.
Yeah.
We could come, we could do all the rides, but we were not eating the food here,
Okay.
and we were not buying the merch.
Okay. You were packing lunches. and-
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I think I've said this more this trip than I'm like, I've never done that.
Uh-huh.
And so it's really cool.
I think that's a really good point of, like a lot of people are like, oh, you've been to Disney, like one time, like what do you need to go back more for?
Oh,
Right, and you've been
Every
coming since you were a kid,
single
you've been
time.
tons of times. There's just
Yeah.
so much to do and try.
Yeah.
There's still so many things that I've not done. I have my list of things to accomplish.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even like yesterday morning, like just kind of, again, because we're not in a rush trying to get from thing to thing. I'm like looking around. I'm like, there's a freaking pirate ship weather vane up there. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You just want to see it. There's always something.
There's always
Always
something.
something new I see every single time.
Yeah. So I just saw the omnibus drive by.
Yes.
That's one thing we have to do today. 'Cause
Yep.
You said you've never done the omnibus.
Never done that either.
So maybe we have to catch that when we're done here
Yeah.
and take a little ride down Main Street.
Right.
So as we come to an end, what would you say brings the magic of Disney to you? What about this place is so magical to you?
I think when it's all of the feeling, it's all of the amping up. You walk through downtown Disney, you've got the music, the ambiance, you've got a bunch of happy, bright faces, you're excited. I saw a family this morning heading to the main gates, and that guy was rocking that stroller. Like, he was running,
Yeah.
so excited, The kids were like, but the dad is like here for it. Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. Okay.
I think that sense of community that happens when you're here with this group of people who are all excited. And it's just that magic of Disney, being together and sharing a passion with all these other people who share it.
That's good.
It's very energizing.
It is energizing. That's good. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kristen, for sharing kind of your Disney story and some great tips with us. And just some, I think people can walk away and have some good tips and some good things to think about.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think, shall we go ride the omnibus?
Yes.
And then maybe grab a churro and go to Pirates.
I love it.
I think we need to do that.
Yay.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that was so fun. I just loved talking with her and talking with all of you today and being able to share just how special Disneyland is for me and kind of share more about the podcast and where we're headed. So I really hope that you come back and stick around and learn more about the parks. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey through the magic of Disney, past and present. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow, rate, or leave a review. It helps more Disney dreamers find their way to the castle. You can also connect with me on Instagram and TikTok at Once Upon a Castle Podcast for extra tips, behind the scenes stories, and of course, all things Disney. So until next time, my friends, keep the magic alive, keep the memories close, and as always, I'm wishing you a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Bye-bye.